Welcome back to our podcast where we explore the spiritual context within our everyday worldly chaos. I'm Vanessa, aka the Aquarian. I'm a psychic, tarot reader, astrologer, spiritualist, healer, and probably many more things.
Yeah, and I'm Jessica Geddes.
Amazing, Jessica. And you know that we are bringing back on Taylor. Everybody has heard her last interview from 2022 over the past 5 days. And we talked a lot about tarot and her deck that you all have heard plenty about. But in this follow-up interview, I wanted us to talk about Astro Cartography.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I wanted to know, Jessica, like, what do you think? We've talked a little bit about astrocartography, so you know what it is. And Taylor will explain better. But in this interview, before we go in, what do you want to know about? Like, when we look at this map, what is it that you are hoping to achieve from looking at it?
I think first and foremost, I'm trying to understand the map.
Oh, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really complicated.
Really complicated. But so what are the general ups and downs and ins and outs? What is it telling you or me? So what is it telling us? What kind of information can be extracted? How is it helpful? How is it helpful, and to what means? Just like as you would approach a tarot deck with sort of an intention, well, what should you maybe step to this with? How is it helpful, and in what ways? And personally, I guess I'm looking to move.
There you go. Let's talk about it, girl.
Yeah, I want a little insight for others as to how they should step to it, what it can tell you, or like, what are you looking at and what is it telling you? And then for myself, again, my next big step is going to be a move.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how can this kind of, what's this got for me in that sense?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. What about you?
I told you this, and I'm going to stick to me saying this because I don't know if my brother will ever listen to this stuff. My brother keeps trying to convince me to move.
Where is he trying to make you move?
Anywhere but here. Well, I think Europe is like anywhere. He's like, Vanessa.
He's like, I don't care where you go. Just go.
He even did math for me.
Really?
Yes, in order to recognize that I'm making it up in my head that I can't move. And I'm going, but I really like my apartment, James. Like, why are you making me even think about this?
No, he showed you numbers.
Yeah, it's because he wants to move. He wants to go somewhere. So one of us has got to go. But it did make me very curious. We talk about living in multiple places, and maybe that's 2026 and Neptune's now in Aries. And so it is more so like how you want to experience your life. What is your fantasy of the world you want to live in? And that can be much more singular than where it was coming from in Pisces, which was a collective sense, which was emulation and mirroring each other and staying in this kind of fantasy world. But now we're like back on the ground, but not only that, in fire, you know?
Fire horse.
Right? Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. I think it's interesting to look at it like, okay, you and I talk about New Orleans a lot, and to think about places like Sedona or places in Europe or in Asia that hold these beautiful vortexes. And I don't know, where else would I feel comfortable? Where else would I like this?
Mm-hmm. Maybe this will be helpful because I literally just drove across the country for an entire month trying to suss this out. And I just spent a month on the road, so maybe this will be a little less involved.
Well, not even just, girl. How long have you been there?
I don't know. Time's not real. 6 months?
Yeah. Ooh. That's how much you're also like, I don't want to be here, is that you're like, I just did this. No, you've been there half a year.
All right. Call me out.
But also, I think that says that the universe, especially because we've talked about Pluto and its effect on your sun, at least, because it'll be an effect on your moon in a while. But right now, the sun is what you're becoming, your purpose, all that. So I think it might be like kind of a cocoon, and it doesn't feel good. You're going down into goo. So yeah, like that's what happens is you turn into total freaking goo. And then what does a butterfly do? A lot of them migrate.
They ungoo.
Yeah, they ungoo. So you have a purpose. You have like a sense of, I want to put something into the world and I want to see it grow in a permanent kind of way. And I think that requires a lot of thought. And so you've been at this place of, I think, like, you know, moving through what it is you want, why it is you want it, why you moved here, what have you been, you know, needing, or what are you looking for? And this Astro Cartography might give you like a better perspective of what excites you, maybe. I don't know much about it. That's why I can't wait for Taylor to talk about it. Oh, she's here.
Here we go. Taylor! Oh my God, hi.
Hi, how's it going, y'all?
Hello, Taylor. Welcome back.
Hi, it's great to see you.
So good to see you. It's been a minute. You and Vanessa interviewed in 2023?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I realized earlier today was 4 years ago. And I was like,
Dude.
I'm gonna die now. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I should be retired.
Well, like, truly, like, this is the longest decade of history, I think. And also fastest somehow. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense.
Time just gets weirder the older you get. The more you experience, the weirder it gets.
It really does.
All right, cool. So welcome back. You're with me now. You're with me and Vanessa. We're really excited to hear about what you've been doing since 2023. What you been up to?
Since 2022? Is that the...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Okay.
Because we're friends. Like, we stay friends with this. So, yeah.
Yeah. Since 2022, I... Like, had I even had my deck out at that? When did my...
Hey, Vanessa, why don't you tell us what Taylor's been doing?
Like, had my deck just come out? Is that...
No, it had just come out because we were talking about it on our last interview.
Okay.
You had spent forever, like, really perfecting that deck. So no wonder, like, you don't remember if that was the time that it came out. No.
Honestly, yeah. I was like, it'll take 6 months. And then I was like, it's been 3 years. Chill. Okay, cute. Yep. I got that one.
Yes.
Since 2022, I have graduated from grad school. I have become an associate marriage and family therapist, as well as professional clinical counselor, because why not do twice the work at once?
What is that, an LMFC?
LMFT and then LPCC. Yeah. So, but I'm an associate still. So AMFT and APCC.
Well done.
It is my calling. It is the greatest work I've ever done. I feel for the first time like this, I'm good at this. This is a thing that I can do. And I think that's changed so much of how, like, just everything else in my life.
Wow.
What else has been happening?
That was the big thing I was thinking of was you graduating.
I had an essay in a book about queering the tarot, and that was
That's
really,
right.
really delightful to write and to be a part of.
How does one queer the tarot?
Well, we kind of gain clarity into and then dismantle some of the, like, patriarchal translations of some of these cards, or
like the hetero stereotypes.
Yeah, taking out the binary and understanding the multitudes of each card. Recognizing how, I talked a bit about how queer people find symbols to help them, like, to help us identify ourselves and find clarity in how it is that we fit into the world, and to mark kind of the changes that we shift through, as well as the systems that we deviate from. And I think that was a big influence on understanding how we can do the same thing through tarot cards.
That's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor, is there somewhere we can find that essay? So we can link it in the show notes.
Yes. So the book is called Tarot and Other Words, and it's a compilation of over a dozen authors, and it's edited by Cassandra Snow. And I believe they wrote a book called Queering the Tarot before this. And
I think they did. Yes,
Yeah.
I saw that before. And then it was so cool to see that you were a contributing author to, I'm guessing, what was the second thing, or just...
And they've been working on many projects, which is really cool, and really opening up so much dialogue around, like modernizing the language that we use and how we read things. So,
Ooh, that's juicy.
Yeah, we need to evolve. So we're on a precipice, I think. I think we're on a precipice, but like knowledge is the gateway a lot of times, and knowledge is often expanded through translation.
absolutely.
Very cool. Okay. This seems like a good point to ask you about Astro Cartography.
I love that. Yeah, let's do it.
So we were eating in New Orleans and everyone busted out their cartography charts, and it's just a map. It's a map of the whole world, and it's got vertical lines. It's got a swoopy inward down to the center of the map, and then swoops back up to the opposite edge of the map. And nobody at the table knew what we were looking at. No idea. Lots of lines. It seems like some of them repeat themselves. Some of them, like, it starts where it begins. Can you just explain what we're looking at?
Totally. And explain what it is, because I have an understanding, but I might be wrong. I think it's about where you're supposed to live in the world, or be in the, I don't know. Yeah. Tell us all of it.
So the theory is that, I'm like, oh my God, okay. The theory is that there are, like, you can kind of take your birth chart and splay out from, where you're born, these lines of influence that show you where specific planetary energies are activated in different places of the world for you. So you would take the significations of any given planet and apply that to what the line is showing you about a certain place. For example, I am in Los Angeles. I am from Los Angeles. I have Neptune on my ascendant. My Neptune line runs through Los Angeles. So Neptune on this is a diagonal line that
Swoopy line. Swoopy.
Okay. And so your Neptune swoopy goes through LA.
It looks like it starts up in like Nova Scotia, and it cuts southwest diagonally down through Los Angeles. I believe there is like a radius of about 500 miles for a line. So like you can see on the map where the line hits exactly, and then kind of estimate that 500 miles around that would be like where you would feel the influence of that. Yes, Jessica. And so I would take those themes of Neptune, which are about spirituality and about, oh God, why am I forgetting Neptune? Spirituality, but also idealism, delusion. We can name like illness, and maybe particularly mental illness, or like chronic illnesses can be Neptune. And so I would take some of those themes, and I can see where they applied to my childhood, where I grew up like a mixed Black person amongst a lot of white people, and kind of like this kind of fluctuating economic placement in a whole school full of very wealthy people, and having very distorted ideas about what I was supposed to look like and who I was allowed to be. And people didn't really know how to place me or how to make sense of who I was in the context of their world. And so that felt very Neptunian. I learned to adapt to any environment, which is a very Neptune trait. It's like, I have no boundaries. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, dissolving what your own ego. You're becoming what other people are telling you is the ego that you should have or embrace.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Neptune can be about like suffering, right? And so Neptune on my ascendant became this chameleon kind of mask. And beneath the mask, I was constantly like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know if this is me. Is this real.com? I have no clue. And like really none of it felt real. It all felt very surreal and strange. And I felt very out of place. Now living here again as an adult, it feels very connected to spirituality. I have a very spiritual relationship with this city. I love this city. It feels truly angelic to me. And it is where I studied to become a therapist, which is a more positive interpretation and application of Neptune, where that sense of, dropping boundaries and merging with someone is how you help them learn more about themselves, right? Like I am dropping into your world and I am seeing, I am sharing with you what I experience so that you can understand what you experience and things like that. So these lines kind of highlight where you might experience themes of any given planet. And there can be combinations of these. So you'll see something like Mars and the IC. My Mars is about 8 degrees from my IC, even though they're in different signs. And so like that makes sense to me as like, okay, these planets go together. Saturn is in my 12th, maybe 15 degrees from my ascendant. And so I have a Saturn ascendant line that runs along like the East Coast. So you'll see various combinations of these things that will amplify what each of those placements.
So I'm going to share a screen. Is that cool, Jess? If I share, yeah, because this way because Jess also has practical desires for seeing her Astro Cartography chart.
We have a volunteer. I volunteer as tribute.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to have yours as well. But let's take a look at...
Yeah, this is fun. I am so excited you want to see this, Jessica.
Do you want information, like bias information, or do you just want to look at it first?
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, because also a lot of her, so we were looking at it like vertical lines, and we were wondering if the swoopy lines and their intersections of the vertical lines.
Like where they meet the straight lines.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, here we are back to so many layers, right? You can have, let's see. Okay, so Mexico City, right? This is a great example. All right, Jupiter and the IC. So the IC is what I refer to as the astrological umbilical cord. It is the point in space from which we are born. This is our most inner private self. This is our emotional nature. This is why I am a Pisces stellium with the rage of an Aries. So that is like what that opens up the 4th house and shows us what home looks like, what our emotional body looks like, maybe what our early childhood conditioning looked like, and themes of that. So like Aries, I was alone all the time. Okay. I was on my own. And then like what you are hoping to build into your future home. So having Jupiter with this IC line tells me that Mexico City would be a place where you would both develop a sense of home and connect with that astrological umbilical cord of yours while also experiencing some of the themes of Jupiter, like having luck or fortune, teaching, mentoring in some way. Jupiter is also a planet about travel and expansion, which is where learning comes in. Okay, so line 1. Yeah.
Wait, really quick. My question now is for anybody who's listening, because we are going to have a link for them to look at this stuff. And I think it'd be super interesting to explain also why. So is your Jupiter, I know your Jupiter's close to the IC. Is that why it says IC at the top, or is there some kind of mathematic going into it?
Here's where the planets are, and here's where your planet placements meet.
Yeah. Like, is it close enough to the 4th house that it's
yes.
like, okay. So it's proximity.
It's proximity, I believe. Yes.
So the IC is the bottom of the chart. It's the MC is it's one line that goes vertical, or sometimes, obviously, some people can see it as diagonal, but it would be considered the top of your chart. The exact opposite is the IC. It's the exact axis. So what she's saying is that Jupiter in her chart, by proximity, is closest to that very bottom of her chart. So the map is saying this is where you'll feel this in your houses. Like this is where you'll feel this in your life. So like if Jupiter's the IC, you're going to feel this in like what you said, the roots, or your feeling of home, or your private life, or things like that. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you might, Jessica, you might go to Mexico City and be like, wow, I'm really getting in touch with my emotions here. Something about this place feels like home to me. I am understanding myself better, my more private self as I move through this space. I'm connecting with people, practices, spaces, energies that nourish my emotional well-being, things like that.
Mexico City's been on the list for a really long time.
Okay. Cool. So with that in mind, let's throw in this other line then. If I'm looking at this correctly, what I think I see is, keep it still, Vanessa.
My bad.
Okay. If I'm looking at Mexico City, I see this green line diagonally also crossing through and meeting this red line, quite literally like on Mexico City exactly. And if I trace that back, I see that pointing to, is that AC and Saturn, Vanessa? Am I seeing that right?
I think it's AC and Mercury, because Mercury is the green line, Saturn is the black line.
Yes,
so
thank you.
How, like,
okay.
Yeah, so I think it's Mercury.
Yes. So then we would tie in, we'd add another layer to what we just explored with the layers of Jupiter and the IC. And this other layer adds that not only would you explore spaces that felt familiar and home and emotionally nourishing, and that also brought you like a sense of culture and expansion about the world around you, Jupiter meets the IC, but you'd also have some process occurring where your mind might sharpen. You get new ideas. You think about things in new ways. You make connections that feel like sibling bonds. You meet people who spark like your mental processes in some way. Tying the ascendant in, that shows us, okay, all of this informs how I am now going to start moving through the world. How do people see me from this moment moving forward? All of the ideas and the ways that my thinking are expanding while I'm here are directly influencing what I want to move through the world doing, representing, and how I'm going to see the world moving forward. Thoughts?
Okay. Very cool. So my son jets through New York.
Okay.
Which is where I was living.
Right. Yeah. So the sun is all about your sense of self. It's like how we, I like to think about, and Vanessa, we've definitely talked about like the kind of similarities and differences between the sun and the ascendant, right? It's like the ascendant is like maybe physically how you appear in the world and like the mannerisms that you demonstrate in the world around you. But the sun is how you know yourself, what the purpose of yourself is in this lifetime, the kinds of activities you will do on a daily basis. I love to remember, I know Mercury is the planet of like day to day and like routine and stuff, but the sun is the planet that's moving a degree a day. You know what I mean? So like, it's really the sun that's like, today I did this and that told me about who I am. Today I did this thing and that's what showed me what I like about myself, what I don't like about myself, and who it is I'm becoming over time.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, the birthday is pretty much just a solar return. It's who am I this year as the sun returns to the position when I was born. So your sun line might show you a lot about who you are becoming in this lifetime. While you were living in New York, you may have felt like, oh, okay, I'm gaining a sense of purpose. I'm seeing where I shine naturally. I'm seeing how it feels to like, I don't know, believe I might be radiant in some way. It's showing me how like day to day I am becoming something and I'm growing into something, and I'm seeing that in my time here.
That happened.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I tell people being back on the West Coast, people ask where I'm from, and I just say born here, from New York. And they say, what? And I say, that's where I came online. That's where I grew up. Even though I was 19 when I moved there, that's
Absolutely. Oh, I love that.
that's where I found myself.
I was also 19 when I moved to New York. That's cute.
I was also 19 when I moved to New York.
Stop it.
Yeah, that's actually really funny.
Stop it. That's really cute. And I like that because my Mercury ascendant line also runs through New York. So something like what we just described with you being in Mexico City, that's something that I experienced while living in New York. Was like, oh, I'm meeting a lot of people who feel like my siblings.
Interesting.
That was the first city I lived in where Black people knew I was Black.
Yeah.
And I mean, not Black people, like people in general knew I was Black. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
people would just come up to me and be like, hey, what's up, girl? Like, hey, sis. Like, and I was just like, oh my God, people, get me here.
They see me.
People see me. And so, like, that is kind of like, you know, that does feel like a sibling, you know, finding my peers, right? Mercury is certainly like a planet about siblings and peer relationships.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the bias information now.
Excellent.
I went to New Orleans in 2019. And then come COVID, I was seriously considering just jetting out, just relocating.
Okay.
And now I'm considering it again. I'm on the West Coast and I know it's not permanent. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm here as long as I need to be here. But I'm contemplating the next move.
Yeah.
And the swamps are calling to me.
The swamps.
My Neptune, Mercury, and Uranus pass through New Orleans.
Stop it. I see this. Okay. Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Cute. Yeah, it's so funny because I'm looking at this map and I'm like, there is literally no line moving through the West Coast for you.
None.
So like what? Like it has it has nothing for you.
It's such a waste of time. No,
but like, I don't know. It's kind of just like, well, whatever space.
I've been to LA. I've been like, you know, I've jumped around. I've explored all the different environments, like and it's just like, even if I can see the magic, I'm like, it's not connected to me.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. So, all right. I'm looking at, I see you. Okay. So will you name the 3 lines one more time? I see them.
It was Neptune, Mercury, and Uranus.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, and then we also have like ascendant with all 3 of those too, which is cool. So it definitely, there's a lot of impact about like how you move through the world and how you see yourself and how you want to present yourself and like what you want to be doing as you move through the world.
That's the AC over there next to the sign. Okay.
Yeah. So this place says a lot about, like, tells you a lot about you and like, what am I doing? How do I show up? What do I look like? How do people see me? We can throw in some of the things that we brought up with Neptune before about like mysticism and spirituality. Like, absolutely. I mean, like, why wouldn't New Orleans be like a mystical, spiritual place? Obviously. But for you in particular, like it connects you with those themes. And it may have you kind of exploring like that fine line between transcendence and like escape, for example. Just super casual things. And like, you know, I think Neptune is also about, I mean, there's so much positivity about shapeshifting. Like you can become many different things and that can be really useful and helpful and healing when it's done consciously, right? Like I think about that. Like I don't treat any of my clients the same with the same approach. Like that is where like the boundaries drop and I enter your world and I become whatever you need me to be in that moment. And it's great because it's like, I'm not lying. I've had experiences that align with the thing you're describing. And I can isolate those specific experiences and tap into the feeling of them. I don't need to have done the exact same thing. I don't need to be a straight white man or an Indian woman, or like I can just merge with that feeling you're describing. So when it's done intentionally, it can be very beautiful and healing, and that's where the transcendence is delightful. So that might be something that you discover in this space. You might recognize like I have the power to become many things, and I can change how people see me. And I can do that intentionally, and I can think about what that means to me. and how that connects me to like a spiritual practice, perhaps.
Yeah. Dang.
Okay, I'm gonna make you laugh with my astrocartography. I'm gonna make you laugh. Are you ready?
Ooh, I do want to throw in, I know that we said things about Mercury already, so like peer relationships and like new ideas and changing how you think. With Uranus, there is absolutely an element of like surprise. And Uranus is like, whoa, I turned the corner and I met this person who happens to know this other person, and then like, but we have like Uranus is like the great neutral unknown. I think we maybe like interpret it in negative ways sometimes, or like sometimes Uranus can feel like accidents or like revelations out of nowhere. But ultimately Uranus serves to shake you out of whatever path you've been on to get onto the path you need to be on. And so however that needs to unfold is how it will unfold. So I say that to name, like, it's hard to describe the kind of energy that Uranus brings in because how you view it will be based on your expectations and your biases and things like that. But expect the unexpected is what I would say with that.
I like that.
And like, since it's ascendant too, it's like, expect the unexpected about how you want to show up in the world. Like you might be like, oh my God, suddenly I'm showing up as this and I never thought I'd be that before.
Right.
Totally.
Okay.
Totally. I love that. Oh my God. Okay. Are you ready to laugh?
Yes. Yes.
I would like you to take a look first at where the sun, the vertical sun, where that's going through.
Oh yeah. So when are you going to get out here?
I know.
You keep teasing me. I don't understand. Why would you tease me like that?
What is this? Like Los Angeles?
And your IC?
Okay, wait. But that's what I want to. Okay, that's where I need your education. So would that mean that like I feel like I am the sun, like coming from my own roots or my own lineage or my own home or my own, or is it like seasonal? I don't know. Like, tell me.
The sun is always the sun, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
The sun don't care about no seasons.
Wait, what does IC mean?
Okay, so to review the IC, it is the line that connects us to our sense of home.
Oh, the umbilical cord.
Yes, the umbilical cord. Yeah.
IC. What does it stand for?
Imam Coeli.
Okay, perfect.
Mana. Do 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 do.
Mana.
Okay, so the sun don't care about no seasons, Vanessa. The sun is like this. The sun might be,
Thank you.
The sun might be where you see yourself shine with consistency.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm about to call you up, Vanessa. I love you so much.
Oh my God, no.
But what this makes me think of is that there are cycles where you intend to start new habits that are difficult for you to sustain. I know. Who am I talking to? That's crazy. Vanessa's looking around like, who is that?
You don't have to narrate me.
I warned you. I warned you, all right?
Fine.
And so my thought is that this might be a place where it becomes easier for you to lock into what you want to become.
Yeah.
Because the sun is where you're becoming, right? Like day to day, I see myself moving it toward, like in the direction of the thing that I want to be.
Oh, you know what? That also brings up that, yes, I appreciate the seasons, but I am most productive in warmer weather, period. Like,
yeah.
There's only one non-negotiable you've ever had your whole life.
It's
that
the
I've
weather.
known your whole life that I've known you, the whole 10 years of your life.
What's the weather?
Is beach days.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I need beach days. It is so true. But but I also want you to see where Saturn is going through.
Okay. Well, 1 second. Don't rain on my parade.
Okay.
I want to finish, which is that I think a sun line would be. I've never. I'm being so bratty right now. Who is she? I think that would be really impactful. Like a sun line in general would be really impactful for a Leo rising.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
Because that's who rules your chart. For those in the know.
Oh.
And it's crazy. It's the IC, and that's my ascendant. Yeah.
So let me take a moment to add an asterisk to today's presentation and add that you might want to look specifically at the planetary lines of the planet or planets that rule different parts of your life. So if you're like, I want to see more of, me in the world, yeah, a Leo rising would look for a sun line.
Yes.
I don't know why I'd say this, even though I live it, but if I was like, I want to take on more responsibility, I would like to feel more hardship as a Capricorn rising, I would follow my Saturn line. What is your rising sign again, Jessica?
Gemini.
Mercury.
Okay, so this Mercury line running through New Orleans would be particularly...
Exactly.
Yes, would be particularly important to you. Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, let's just throw that in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Cute.
Girl.
And then, yes, let's tie in briefly that, yes, Vanessa, you would feel a sense of home. You would feel like, oh, this illuminates my emotional body and like nourishes me and allows me to feel very at home here. Okay.
Yes. No one asks me about a crystal.
Show me Saturn.
Go.
Oh, in New York?
Exactly.
Girl.
Yeah, what goes through New York on her? What's that little black 5 looking?
Saturn.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it's Saturn and the IC and that LA is the sun and IC. So like you're still learning the same lessons.
I know.
I mean, like, why'd they make the line black though? Like, did they have to really, like, they had to really just, like, the weight of it. Like, it's just so thick. It's just a thick black line. Like,
well, you know what? I had an opportunity. I was coming from Louisville. Like we were all, well, you're from Los Angeles. Jessica, you're from the West Coast. I'm not. I'm from Louisville. And so I actually had a choice. Like I was like, I could go to Los Angeles or I could go to New York. And for some reason, New York kept calling me. Sometimes I do wonder if it's because I felt like New York, I could push away from what I really wanted, which was to advance in the entertainment world, whereas Los Angeles would have asked me to be everything that I am and like really put in all of the career effort. But New York really molded me as a person. Like I kind of chose the person route over the career route, but still it's still there and my sunlight still goes through it. And it's so much easier than New York to talk about this kind of stuff in Los Angeles than it is here. People don't scoff at a crystal in Los Angeles.
But you would have to know who you were if you had gone to Los Angeles. And if you went to New York, you were jumping into the river to let what wasn't you be washed away.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, very true.
Because listen, the sun is not a nice planet. Like the sun would have burned you up.
It would have burned me up.
Sun would have burned you up.
Because
would have been
my
like
Saturn squares my ascendant.
Right. Okay, so interesting. So the Saturn line called to you first, in order to like push you to be ready for the sun line, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. It was like Saturn in Scorpio was saying, I want you to shine, even though it doesn't feel like that. It feels like I want to criticize you. Like that's how it's coming across. But really what it is,
better,
right,
okay?
Exactly. You're just not good enough, okay? You're just not good enough. You just deal with it. I'm
doing this for you.
Exactly. So every time I would feel connected and like I'm shining, it would get pulled into the underworld of can you explain it on a deep level? Can you translate this in a way that anybody could understand you? Is what you're offering really what you want to offer? So a lot of times when I get really excited about something, it goes through this really crazy process of, will that actually work, honey? Like, it's like, will that actually work? And honestly, what comes back out is something that actually works. And it's like, but I wouldn't have gone there if I had followed what I call like an Icarus perspective of, well, just because, right? Like, just because I like it and it's shiny and it should work, or it's inspired, doesn't mean that it's actually going to work.
Yeah. And like, doesn't mean that there's not a cost. Yeah.
Yes. So I think that going towards my Saturn line was kind of almost like self-preservation, because I would have, like Jessica said, I would have been eaten up in Los Angeles because they want you to be superficial. And my Saturn squaring my ascendant can't handle superficiality. Yeah. And Leo can get really by if it's on its pure energy, not affected by any other planet, any other sign, on superficiality. So it just wasn't going to let me do that. And I think that's interesting that I chose New York, because it like really got to like reflect back to me what I needed to grow inside of me, like those hard things to see. But
absolutely.
I have an observation question.
Yeah.
So Vanessa's IC Sun and Saturn are on the left side of her map, whereas on mine they are the verticals. Because we looked at, so I was looking at where my IC Sun and Saturn are, and they run through like Egypt and Africa. Crazy, never thought about. But so I'm looking at my ICs, and they're like pretty much centered right on my chart. And we looked at the swoopies on mine, which are AC, which is ascendant, right? What's the difference between AC and IC?
Yeah. So often, okay, if you have let me answer the question before I add a question. So the ascendant is how you move through the world. The IC, and that's how everyone sees you. That's how you see yourself. That's how everyone else sees you. So the AC is very public. The midheaven kind of connects with that. The midheaven is technically, as Vanessa said earlier, like your highest point, and therefore like your most visible point. And so that's really the most, like, that's what people know about you. Like, the ascendant is like you walked in the room.
Yeah.
Yes. The ascendant is like you walked in the room and I saw you and I made judgment calls or whatever. I collected information based on how I saw you move through the room. The midheaven is like, I've heard about you. I don't even have to have seen you before, but these are the things that I've heard about you. You can know things about someone. That's MC.
So then, it stands for midheaven.
Yeah,
you've
midheaven.
heard of midheaven, but that's the abbreviation for midheaven.
So those are
MC.
like the two most visible points, and like
AC, MC.
So the ascendant, visible, how people witness you move through spaces, and like how you move through the world. The IC is the most private part in the chart. It is very different from the AC. If you and this is what I was going to start to add earlier, is that you might have a very straightforward chart with equal quadrants, so that your ascendant squares your IC. That is very typical. And so there will be conflict between how it is that I want to appear, how it is I want to move through the world, and what it is I actually feel in my innermost core. That also represents, like, here's the family that I come from. Here are my people, my homeland, etc. And here's the tension between me wanting to belong and me wanting to move throughout the world and like be my own person and like individuate. Some people will have them be in more of a trine, suggesting that there's more harmony between those two spaces. The very private self.
Yeah, you're talking about when the MC is
so
tilted.
Like, or it could even be shifted this way. I feel like I know a lot of Cancer risings with Virgo ICs, for example, where that's a sextile, not a square. But yeah, in either case, it is they are quite different and yet inevitably connected which is that the IC is our most private self and the ascendant is our most visible self, or like our most, our most, yeah, I'll say visible self.
I find that entertaining that inherently or like naturally or like intuitively we looked at Vanessa's ICs and looked at my ACs, because that's very like indicative of who like the differences in us as individuals.
Yeah. And it's also the proximity of your planets to those angles. So your planets are closer to those angles than my planets. My planets are all of my planets, but one are in the lower hemisphere. So they're all close to the IC. But what also I've heard about this, so the angles in general, we might have talked about this, Taylor, but they all are the most visible points of your own life. So if something goes awry in one of these points, you feel it very hard.
Yes and no. I'm going to go back to the trines, or like it depends on the angle. So like if it's square, it's going to feel real tense. If it's trine, it's going to be a much easier flow. It's like, oh, something's happening at home and it's actually helping me move forward in the world.
Yes.
Versus like something's happening at home and this is changing how I'm going to show up in the world and I have to get my shit together right now because I don't want anyone to see this.
Yes, the result, absolutely. But just for the translation or the observation of what it is, we all can know that there's like, we go through identity crises. And a lot of times that can be sort of how we express ourselves onto the world. So we feel like, okay, am I expressing in a way that makes sense to me? That's just an offness of the first house or the AC. The fourth house is the private life in the home. If something's going on with your home, even if it tries something else and you can get out of it, it's still, you feel it really hard if something's off with your home. Something's off with your relationship, you feel that really hard. If something's off with your career and your purpose, you feel that really hard. Now you're absolutely, I totally agree. Like if you have trines, you have better mobility when things are off, but everybody goes through those ups and downs, but that's probably one of the best ways I've seen the angles in general. And it's only talking about the angles in Astro Cartography. It's not talking about any of the other houses. So it's talking about those places that you are so aware of your place in the world, of what you have in the world. Mm-hmm. Like if you don't have a home, you feel it. You know, if you have a home that you don't like, you feel it. If you have a home you want to move to, you feel it. You know, if you love your home, you feel it, like that kind of thing. That's all I was saying.
Also, I'm having another hot take. I feel it. I feel it happening.
Give it.
Okay. It's definitely stemming from this, and it's stemming from what I said about like the square that is present in many charts where you have an ascendant that squares your IC-MC line. Might show like, this is where I came from, but I have to go prove something out in the world. And this is why I have to leave home to go do this thing. And from there, I thought someone with an IC that's trying their ascendant might be a Nepo baby, or might be someone who has connections within their family that directly influence and impact how it is they're able to move through the world. And then I thought about if someone has an MC that is sextile their ascendant, that means it's trine something in their seventh house or their descendant, and that might be someone who only feels at home with someone they're in relationship with or partnered with, and feels like explores their emotional realm through that sense. And perhaps there's not really much of a connection at all between where you came from and how you move through the world. Okay, that's it. That's the hot take.
Love.
That's a good hot take.
Fresh download.
I love it. What would you like? How would you suggest someone approaches this? Like, what is this good for?
Just like any tool, I would start by getting clear on what it is in particular you want to be experiencing, or what you want to use it for, or how you're using this. So it really depends on what. Okay, so you're like, what are you moving for, right? So if someone was saying, I want to move, okay, let's take Vanessa, for example, right? The IC line. So if it was like, I really want to feel somewhere that like feels like home to me. I want to feel like I want to get in touch with my emotional body. Okay, I'm following the IC line. That takes me to Los Angeles. If I'm someone who wants to look for love, which is what many people inquire about in the Astro Cartography chart, you would look for your Venus line. You would want to see, where is Venus?
Oh.
If I want to get in a fight and I want to understand my strength and I want to feel
Dark
more,
motives.
I know, right? And I want to feel more connected to my sense of drive and ambition, I would look at my Mars line. If I'm interested in so if I want to write a book, I'd probably go back to New York and hang out for a bit and be like, I'm posting up in New York for a summer because my Mercury line runs here and I'm going to write my book while I'm here. So it really depends on what you want to get out of the reason you're moving. What is it that you're looking for? Figure that out and then look to that planet and see where those lines are. I'm going to go ahead and say no one's really choosing to move to their Pluto line, for example, unless you're like, I got some karma. I'm here to transform and I'm ready to shed some snake skins.
I said to Jessica, I was like, is this where I'm going to die?
Okay.
I am dying in Tulsa.
I mean, that sounds like a novel title. Dying in Tulsa is the play.
Dying in Tulsa.
I mean, I'm going to Houston to start a fight, apparently.
There you go. Going to Houston to start a fight.
So if I go to Tucson, I'm definitely going to get in a fight with someone. That is where my Mars line is, and that is where there are many red state people. Like, Tucson is probably not my friend. But maybe I'd feel really connected to a sense of ambition. Maybe I would, connect with some energy that really motivated me.
Whoa.
If I want to... Okay, so kind of like what Vanessa said about LA in general, LA does feel like LA is a very spiritual place for me. So my Neptune line is here. I connect with all kinds of spiritual people. I find magic in my day-to-day. Do I want to live near my Neptune line? I don't know. I still feel pretty porous. It'd be nice to be a little more solid, but I'm not moving to a Saturn line. So here we are. I'm not going to Vancouver probably. I'll go visit, but I'm probably not going to live there. Because Saturn's there, and I don't really need more Saturn. I'm good on the Saturn. Yeah. So, I'm trying to think of any other specific example. Okay, so maybe something like the North Node. All right. If I went to, and as a note about the nodes are a non-energetic, non-planetary point determined by the ecliptic. And it essentially shows us where we are ready to leave something behind in the South Node in order to experience more of the North Node.
Great disclaimer. Great.
Thank you. This disclaimer is brought to you by the nodes. Okay, I see a lot of people talk about the nodes. For example, yesterday Mercury met the North Node in Pisces. And I saw a lot of people talking about something about clarity. Ideas that come up today bring you clarity on a sense of purpose. And I was kind of like, we need to remember that the nodes are not the sun. Okay, the sun will bring you clarity in a conjunction. The nodes are a portal. It's not giving you anything. It is literally opening up a vast portal for you, which is actually the least stable connection you can feel. You're like, I am throttling through time. I don't know what any of this is. I had the thought about That's So Raven. I was like, the North Node is an episode of That's So Raven where we're just having flash forwards, but we don't have the context. And so we don't have any way to stabilize the thing that's coming through. I say all of that to name that I might not want to live on a North Node line. It might feel very shaky. It might feel very unpredictable, but I might visit it to go get to have interactions with people and to see themes of the future that I'm trying to figure out how to live in the present. Because the North Node is a soul journey. It takes your whole lifetime. It's not a planet that's close to Earth. It's not revealing anything tangible. It's hey, this is something that you will probably gain clarity about in several months. But here's a taste of it now. And you're like, oh, all right. So that might be something about the North Node line. You might say, I want to know what it feels like to be the person I'm here to become over the course of my entire lifetime.
I'm 99% sure that my North Node goes through my home city.
Oh, very interesting.
What?
Okay.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Because that should be it right here.
Interesting.
Whoa, what does that mean?
Okay. Download. Home is the way that you measure the growth that you are accomplishing in this lifetime. Like, I don't think you want to live there.
No.
But when you visit there, you might have experiences that show you what it is you want to grow toward.
And when I was growing up, it definitely did. Yeah.
And like each time you go back, you might be like, oh, I can see where I've gotten closer to where it is I'm trying to go because I am further away from this thing, or because or maybe I'm incorporating something from home in order to grow into this thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but that's so cool. Like, yeah, I had a lot of theater and spirituality and everything. A lot of that I learned initially was from my hometown. So that's really cool. This is Jessica's.
Oh, a swoopity swoop.
A swoop.
A swoop.
So you're going to the ocean. No. So Houston.
good.
So Houston is a place.
Spot. Or
yeah, we are
Cuenca.
hanging out.
Cuenca.
Yeah.
Quito.
And let's see, Trujillo and Cuenca. Yeah. And Medellin. Okay.
Yeah, Medellin.
So like maybe you're going to Central America and South to find out.
Find your person, DC.
Aha, yes.
Boom.
Yes.
Latin man.
Right.
This is truth.
Vanessa's like, show me the lie. Okay.
Vanessa's buying plane tickets already.
We'll take one trip.
It'll change your life.
Exactly. We're gonna take a South American tour.
I also, I might join you on that because I have some lines I'd like to check
You got
out.
some lines? Okay, cool.
In South America?
Apparently, that's where my Pluto line is. Apparently, so maybe I won't. Maybe I won't.
Maybe you won't.
Okay, I can go with you to all the cities we just named. That's where my Mercury ascendant line goes through.
Really?
My sun line runs right through Peru.
Interesting. We're going to Peru.
My moon and Jupiter lines move right through Brazil and Uruguay. So I might want to go to like more of the eastern half of South America.
Okay.
And check out what's going on there. Okay.
This is awesome. What would you want to tell somebody if they were, because I've also been seeing Astro Cartography come up on threads constantly. So that's also why I wanted to bring it up because everybody's talking about it. So what would you tell someone if they were approaching their chart after they listened to this episode? What would you, besides like you said the planets and looking at it through the IC and the MC and the AC and DC, but is it all about where you want to move, or is it more so about, try to figure out what your travel life is like, or just sort of discovering, these different little, like it's sort of like a direction of where you might want to go, traveling intentionally maybe?
I might say, well, first, it's definitely not strictly just about moving. And that's, I think I kind of named that in like the North Node trip, for example. Like you might not want to be someplace that feels very unstable for you, but it will bring you previews of things that you're here to experience. So I would say that I might use this as a tool to find out what parts of myself I might find across the world. And both to reflect on places that I've been and lived, to kind of put together some of those themes and recognize like, oh yeah, that's why I was there. Okay.
Yeah.
And also like, to plan kind of intentional travel or know areas that might be, I don't know, like insightful for you to explore. Absolutely. Yeah.
That would be so cool if like retreats started popping up, places just being like, if you're around this Astro Cartography line, you might want to come and check this kind of place out. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that would be really interesting because each place will be different for each person, right? Like I have a line in LA, but Jessica doesn't, right? Or like you have a sun line here and I have a Neptune line. And so it would be it would be a genius idea.
Oh my God, I know, right?
To become like an astro travel agent.
That's a thing.
To curate, like, this is like Astro meets Airbnb. It's like curate experiences that you tell me, okay, yeah, let me matchmake you with things you want to have. And here are your top 5 options.
Right. Where are you stuck?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about?
Exactly.
I'll go put you up and give you some tools of reflection. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
Yes.
Or I'm going to make a curated list of like bars or coffee shops or places you can visit, things you should do, depending on like what you need to get to the bottom of. Like send me to Houston to a bar with a bull or to a rodeo, and I'm going to get in a fight with the love of my life.
Ooh.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I'm going to figure that out.
I think we just started a business. No, we are evil geniuses. This is amazing. Yeah, exactly. Like, want to have a spiritual experience? Go towards your Neptune line. Want to heal your childhood wounds? You trying to go on a cathartic
Chiron line
coming of age road trip? Go to your Chiron line.
You could even follow the line for a little bit, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, like you could like visit multiple places along the line. That's dope. I would totally, that's like a pilgrimage, y'all. That's like a straight up pilgrimage.
Yeah, and you can choose how long it is. You're like, I want to spend a week. And it's like, okay, great.
What if people started, like, if they were following their Venus line, they were like, I am going to find my husband. And like, it actually worked. It's like, what? 90-day fiance, stuff works out.
Oh my God. I was going to say, I just saw the Bravo casting call for women who have Venus lines that run through Las Vegas. Please apply. We will be putting together a household of eligible singles.
We're just turning the heat up.
Yes. Call the networks.
Okay, so we have to call the network so that we can find out what facilities they have, and so then that's gonna be the framework.
There we go.
Where are they doing Love Island? Right, they're in like Fiji.
Truly,
yes. So
exactly.
Who's on a line of Fiji?
Yeah. Truly, right?
Oh my God, it would be so much better.
Then it would be fun to be like, yes, we want someone with a Mars line here so that they'll start some.
Yes,
we need the shit starter here. Where's the Mars line person?
We need more jobs for astrologers.
Truly.
We're not allowed to bet on this.
And then like someone with a Jupiter line who's going to come in and think they know everything and like act all holier than thou.
Right. Anybody who has any lines going through Fiji gets to come on to our season of Love Island.
Exactly.
There we go.
This is it.
We're going to pitch this.
Honestly, I'm surprised there isn't a dating show that's founded in astrology, or I wonder if the producers use astrology in their curation.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I wouldn't be surprised. That wouldn't surprise me.
I need to know. Write in if you're a producer on a dating show.
Seriously.
Tell us your secrets.
Yes, seriously. That would be such a cool thing to know.
I would love that.
Oh my God. Taylor, is there anything you would like to let the audience know about what you're doing right now when it comes to astrology, when it comes to tarot, or right now you are thriving in your role as a therapist?
I mean, why not both?
Yes!
I am. That's right. I am working on my next deck.
Oh, yeah.
There will be more information about that soon. And I'm finishing up this year's edition of Winding the Wheel, which this will be the 3rd edition. And it is a blending of astrology and tarot. So it's kind of like, I've called it like an Astro Tarot planner. And so it kind of has like a week by week breakdown of the transits. And then there are specific tarot prompts connected to the themes of the week. There are month ahead spreads, month reflection spreads. This year is a little bit different. I'm aligning it with the actual zodiacal wheel. So instead of starting in the beginning of 2026, it starts with Aries season. So I'm really excited to bring this kind of new format into the world. And that will be released, oh my goodness, next month. So yeah, so I'll be opening pre-orders for that soon. But that's the vibe.
Amazing. All right, girly girl.
Thank you so much for joining us, Taylor. That
Thank
was
you
a delight.
so much for having me. This has been such a delight. I can't believe 2022 is the last time that we did this.
Hopefully sooner than that in the future.
Yes.
Yes, I would love that. Please invite me over to Astro Barf all over your floor anytime.
But you're amazing. And thank you so much again. And yeah, we're besties forever. Bestie Astro Girls forever.
Besties for life. Amazing. Thank you guys so much. This was so fun. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye, Taylor.